Up again. This one's your socks. You trying to take them off? Marguerite. Marguerite. You ignoring Mama? Yes, I'm ignoring you, Mom. Leave me alone. What up, y'all? So, yes, I just washed my hair yesterday, so that is why I have it in these flat twists. That's why it's looking like this. And yes, I have yet to put on my contacts today. It's the weekend, and so I'm in relaxed mode, and that's why I'm looking like, why? But anyway, I wanted to come to you guys really quick and just say, hey, there's been so much going on in the media with the Eric Garner case, with Ferguson, and with Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, just all of this stuff going on in the media that has just been heavy on my mind and my heart the past few weeks. There's been so much anger, so much frustration, and so much just confusion about what to do next. What is the next step? And I go over a lot of this with my students. We do a lot of current events. And so a lot of their reading, I'm an English teacher, but a lot of their reading, I make them read current event articles so that they can kind of make this a real world application of reading and why it's important. And they're learning so much about racial inequality in this country, and I just feel really honored that I'm able to kind of help them figure this out, because they're frustrated and they're asking me, like, Miss Burns, why would somebody do that if they have it on video? If they have the murder of this man, Eric Garner, on video, why wouldn't the cop be indicted? And it's hard for me to explain to them this is the way that it is in America. And I was talking to my husband about it, that it makes me frustrated because of the fact that I have to be at least not fearful, because I don't want to say we have to live our lives in fear, because we don't. But I am concerned when he leaves the house, because he's almost 6 feet tall. He's big. He's dark-skinned. Like, he is seen as a threat. And I have nephews. I have, 5 nephews? And they're all little black boys right now. But they're not always going to be little and cute, and somebody's going to see them as a threat. I mean, look at Tamir Rice. He was 12 years old, and they just rolled up on him, didn't even get out of the car, and shot him within, 20 seconds. And it's just infuriating. And it's hard for me to... Hi, baby. And even though Grace is only a year old, I'm already kind of explaining to her that, I hate the fact that I'm going to have to teach my child or my future children, this is how you behave around police. And then even if you do those things, sometimes it really doesn't matter, because you're still black and you're still perceived as a threat. And, majority of white people in this country are afraid of black men. That is just the reality of America. And there's so much deep-rooted fear and this inherent fear of blackness in this country, and it's just sickening. And I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter. There's the hashtag criming while white, and there's also the hashtag alive while black. And I've been really just paying attention to these hashtags and just seeing how much, obvious white privilege is abundant in this country. And of course I already knew that. It's nothing new to me, but just to see the stark contrast, in people's opinions. And I'm really having to renew a lot of my students' minds, because they're from Texas, and my white students, they don't understand. They're like, well, he was selling cigarettes, or, well, he was trying to wrestle with a police officer, and so that's what happens. And it's like, but if you see the stark contrast in how whites are treated by the police versus how blacks are treated by the police, that boy did not deserve to die. Michael Brown didn't deserve to have his life taken. And nor did Eric Garner. They deserve to be put, before a jury of their peers, and, to have to do the time for their crime, but they didn't deserve to have their lives taken. They didn't deserve to die. And that's when I was trying to explain to my kids about the value of black life and brown life, because the majority of my kids are black and brown, and explaining to them, the value of your life is less than those of your white counterparts, and that's just the sad reality of the situation. And we actually are doing a poetry unit right now where we read Paul Laurence Dunbar. We wear the mask, and I was trying to explain to them, you know, part the line in the poem, with torn and bleeding hearts we smile. I said, we always have to kind of put on this facade when we go out in public, and we have to try to act like everything's okay, but on the inside there's just this fire that is burning in all of us, in this frustration, and it's just really, I really pray that we start to affect change. I feel like I'm trying to do my part as far as teaching the youth, teaching these young people how to make a difference in their communities, teaching these young people how things have to change, perspectives and mindsets have to change. Because a lot of these students, especially my white students, have been taught that it's okay, this is okay, to treat black people this way. Well, they deserve whatever they get because they're thugs, and this is in their mind because this is what they've been taught. And so I feel like I'm doing my part, at least trying to inform them and trying to help them to see that black lives do matter, brown lives do matter, and it's hard for me sometimes to go to work and not like want to flip over a desk, because I'm so frustrated about everything that's going on, and then dealing with majority white coworkers who, some of them, they get it, but some are just like, well, he was wrestling with the cop, well, so and so, like, it's really frustrating to have that kind of ignorance around you generally. And that's just part of being black in America, as far as dealing with white coworkers and dealing with the ignorance and dealing with people's opinions. And that's why a lot of times I try to keep my mouth shut about a lot of it, unless I know it's a coworker who is kind of like, a Democrat, and a coworker who, kind of agrees as far as, these different verdicts and stuff that have come down. But I have a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, and it makes me afraid even to think about having a son, because me and my husband talk about this all the time, if we're going to have another baby, and I'm afraid to have a son, like, because of the fact that they are killing black men in the streets and getting away with it. It's just, this has been going on for so long, though, in this country. It's that part of you, and I think so many people express the same sentiment, that it's like, I'm not really surprised, but I'm surprised. You know what I'm saying? But I'm shocked. You would hope that in 2014 that things would be better, that this country would be moving in a better direction, and it seems like it's getting worse. And it really just teaches you that the more things change, the more they stay the same. And that's why I really encourage my black male students, especially all of my black and brown students, get your education, learn this system so that you can fight back. Like, don't just be okay with being ignorant and not knowing how to write complete sentences or not paying attention in class. Like, you need all of the opportunities that you have, because it's going to help you in your future. You can't afford to sit here and just be mediocre. You can't afford to just sit around and not have a strong work ethic, and you can't afford to not try. You have to try, because you have to really be leaps and bounds above your white counterparts in order to even possibly get a semi-fair shake. And that's why I always teach them, even with respectability politics, yeah, you can have your shirt tucked in. Yeah, you can be wearing a belt. Yes, you can have your pants pulled up. You can have on a suit, whatever. But honestly, if you're black, if you have black skin, none of that really matters. And that's why I really hate the whole thing, this whole idea of respectability politics. Whether I go to work with my hair in a bun or whether I go to work with my afro out, the white teachers are still going to mistake me for the other black teacher down the hall. Like, it's and it's that thing. It's just, you're black, so you're obviously that other teacher. And, it's like it's a hyper visible invisibility. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm very visible, but then at the same time, they kind of lump us all together. So there's one other teacher in the English department that's black, and they were always being mistaken for one another, and we don't look anything alike. Like, besides the fact that we're both black, like, but it's just one of those things. You're still going to be stereotyped based on your skin color, no matter how professional your appearance may be. I can't get with the respectability politics. I really can't. Like, in this country, that's just the way that it is. I mean, you could. And my father-in-law was actually telling me about this when we were in Georgia. And my father-in-law has been in the Air Force for like I think he was in the Air Force for over like 20 years. A very successful, very accomplished guy. But his wife, Gracie's Meemaw, Tracy, is a white woman. And he was telling me about different times they traveled to different places. One time I think they were in Florida. And then I think one time like in Alabama. And the police stopping him in the car and asking Tracy, ma'am, are you okay? Is this man kidnapping you? Are you being hurt? All of this stuff. And it's like, it doesn't matter how professional you're. And they're driving like a nice car. His father drives a Porsche. Like, his father drives a Porsche. So they're looking at him like, first of all, what are you doing in this car? Second of all, you have this white lady in the front seat, in the passenger side. What are you doing? And it's like, it doesn't matter how professional your appearance in this country, how much you try to stay within the lines of what is respectable, or if you act like a good Negro. All of that doesn't seem to matter at the end of the day, because you are still black and you are still less than human in this country. We're still working with the 3/5 compromise in 2014. And that is frustrating. And that is, if you let it be, it could be debilitating, honestly. But anyway, you guys leave me your opinions. Tell me what you think. I'm still reeling from all of this. And it's like every day I just have to put my mask back on. Like Parlance Dunbar, I have to just put on my strong face and choose to be strong in the face of all of this craziness, and choose to keep my head up, and choose to keep going out here and making a difference every day. So you guys tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think, and I'll let you guys later. Peace.